The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, punctuated by distant starlight and the humming energy of advanced technology. Captain J. Park stood motionless on the bridge of the U.S. horizon, his dark eyes scanning the holographic display that flickered with urgent data streams. The quantum sensors had detected something unusual. A civilization called the Lumina, peaceful and technologically advanced, was about to face an imminent threat. The Stellar Dominion's massive warships were converging on their home systems, preparing for what seemed like a total extinction event. Lieutenant Hyun Kim approached the captain, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Sir, we've confirmed multiple invasion vectors. The Lumina have no defensive capabilities." Her voice was calm but carried an underlying tension. Jay nodded, his mind racing through potential intervention strategies. Earth had a strict protocol about protecting vulnerable civilizations, but direct intervention could spark an interstellar conflict. The holographic display zoomed into the luminous home system. Soft blue planets with intricate atmospheric patterns were about to be invaded by dark, metallic warships that looked like predatory machines. Each Stellar Dominion vessel was almost 5 kilometers long, bristling with weapons that could obliterate entire planetary populations in minutes. "Calculate potential intervention scenarios," Jay commanded. The ship's advanced AI began processing millions of strategic possibilities per second. Hyun's hands moved swiftly, pulling up tactical simulations. Complex mathematical models represented potential outcomes, each scenario color-coded by probability of success and potential casualties. Outside the ship's reinforced windows, stars seemed to watch silently as humanity prepared to make a critical decision. The horizon wasn't just a warship, it was a beacon of hope for civilizations that couldn't defend themselves. The luminous transmissions were becoming increasingly desperate. Their communication networks displayed panic. Soft, melodic language translated into urgent mathematical patterns that spoke of impending doom. They were a civilization of scientists, philosophers, and explorers. War was a concept alien to their understanding. Jay remembered his academy training. "We protect those who cannot protect themselves," his mentor had said. Those words echoed in his mind now, more powerful than any weapon system. The ship's AI completed its calculations. Intervention was not just possible, but necessary. The probability of successful defense was 73.6%, high enough to justify action, but with significant risks. Hyun looked up. "Awaiting your orders, Captain." Jay's hand moved slowly towards the communication interface. One command would mobilize Earth's most advanced defensive fleet. One decision could save an entire civilization, or potentially trigger a massive interstellar war. The Stellar Dominion's warships continued their relentless approach. Their weapon systems were charging, ready to unleash destruction. Massive energy signatures indicated they were preparing planetary bombardment protocols, a method of warfare that would reduce entire worlds to radioactive dust. "Activate defense protocols," Jay said quietly. His voice was steady, but his heart raced. The U.S. horizon began to transform. Quantum shields rippled across its hull, adaptive technology preparing for multiple combat scenarios. Weapon systems that had been dormant now hummed with potential energy. Around them, other Earth vessels received the same transmission. Like a coordinated organism, they began moving into strategic positions. Each ship was a piece of a complex defensive puzzle, ready to interlock and protect. The first wave of Stellar Dominion ships would arrive in approximately 47 minutes, enough time to prepare, but not enough time for prolonged negotiations. Humanity was about to show the universe that some lines cannot be crossed, that some civilizations will always stand against pure, unrestricted violence. The stars outside seemed to hold their breath, waiting. The communication room aboard the U.S. horizon buzzed with tension. Wu Choi, Earth's lead diplomatic strategist, studied the holographic representations of the Lumina civilization. Their world was a delicate network of research centers, communication hubs, and scientific installations, completely unprepared for violent conflict. The Lumina representatives looked fragile. Their translucent skin shifted colors with their emotions, revealing waves of fear and uncertainty. Their leader, an elder named Kira, trembled as she spoke. "We have never experienced war. Our people know only collaboration and scientific discovery." Wu understood immediately. The Lumina were researchers, not warriors. Their entire civilization was built on understanding the universe, not defending against its dangers. Advanced quantum computers began analyzing the stellar dominion's potential attack strategies. Massive data streams transformed complex military movements into predictable patterns. Earth's AI systems were exceptional at finding weaknesses in seemingly impenetrable defense lines. Lieutenant Hyun Kim entered the room, carrying detailed tactical reports. "Our initial scans show the enemy has superior numbers, but predictable attack formations." Her finger traced potential defensive strategies on the holographic display. The Lumina scientists watched in amazement. Humanity's ability to transform complex threats into manageable challenges was unlike anything they had ever witnessed. Wu knew they had limited time. The Stellar Dominion's invasion fleet would arrive in less than 36 hours. Every minute counted. Every calculation mattered. "We need to integrate your technological systems with our defensive networks," Wu explained to the Lumina leadership. "Your advanced research capabilities combined with our military strategies could create something unprecedented." Kira looked uncertain. Her species had never considered weaponizing their scientific knowledge. But survival was now their primary concern. The quantum computers continued processing. Millions of potential scenarios played out in microseconds. Attack vectors, defensive positions, technological countermeasures, all became complex mathematical equations waiting to be solved. Outside the communication room, Earth's fleet began preparing. Warships that had been dormant for years now hummed with potential energy. Quantum shields rippled across massive hulls. Weapon systems that represented decades of technological innovation prepared to defend a civilization they had never met. Wu watched the Lumina scientists slowly understanding the gravity of their situation. Fear transformed into determination. Their research databases began linking with Earth's military networks, creating a hybrid system more powerful than either civilization could have imagined. "We will help you," Wu said softly, "but you must also be prepared to fight." The Lumina leader nodded. For the first time in their civilization's history, they would transform their scientific knowledge into a defensive strategy. Hyun's quantum tablet displayed rapidly changing mathematical models. Each second brought new insights, new potential strategies. The complicated dance of survival was beginning. The universe watched silently. One small civilization, facing total destruction. Another civilization, committed to protecting the vulnerable. And between them, a complex web of technological innovation that would change everything. The countdown to potential conflict continued. 36 hours remained. Humanity was ready. The Lumina would not face this challenge alone. The first wave of stellar dominion ships burst through the outer planetary system like a swarm of metallic locusts. Their weapon systems charged, preparing to reduce entire planetary regions to radioactive dust. Lieutenant Seo Park gripped her quantum control interface, her eyes narrowed with concentration. The U.S. Horizon's advanced targeting systems locked onto the incoming vessels. Behind her, the ship's AI processed millions of tactical scenarios per millisecond. "Incoming," shouted Commander Japark. "Defensive Formation Alpha." The Earth fleet moved with incredible precision. Each ship became a living, breathing part of a complex defensive network. Quantum-entangled communication systems allowed instantaneous coordination that the Stellar Dominion had never encountered before. The first missile waves arrived. Massive energy bursts that could typically destroy entire planetary colonies screamed through space. But Earth's adaptive quantum shields transformed those destructive energies, absorbing and redirecting them. Seo's nanoswarm missiles launched. Unlike traditional weapons, these were living technological entities. Each missile contained millions of microscopic robots that could adapt, think, and reconfigure mid-flight. They moved like intelligent liquid metal, finding the smallest weaknesses in enemy ship structures. The Stellar Dominion commanders watched in absolute shock. Their invasion plan, which had conquered hundreds of civilizations, was falling apart within minutes. Their lead battleship, a massive construct nearly 10 kilometers long, fired its primary weapon. A concentrated energy beam that could typically slice through planetary crusts now met something unexpected. Earth's defensive systems didn't just block the attack. They absorbed and transformed it. Target acquired, CO muttered. Her fingers danced across the quantum interface. The nano-swarm missiles began their precise destruction. They didn't just damage enemy ships. They systematically dismantled them from inside, turning massive warships into floating debris. Lumina scientists, connected through quantum communication networks, provided real-time tactical support. Their advanced research systems identified microscopic vulnerabilities in Stellar Dominion technology that even Earth's military had missed. Commander Jepark's voice remained calm. Maintain defensive positions. Protect the Lumina homeworld at all costs. The battle wasn't just about firepower. It was a complex dance of technological innovation, strategic thinking, and the fundamental human drive to protect the vulnerable. Stellar Dominion ships began falling, not destroyed in massive explosions, but systematically taken apart. Their advanced technology met something it had never encountered: an adaptive, intelligent defense system that learned and transformed with each attack. CO watched the holographic displays. Millions of data points represented each tiny technological interaction. The nanoswarm missiles moved like intelligent liquid, finding and exploiting the smallest structural weaknesses. One by one, Stellar Dominion ships became floating graveyards. Their crews watched in horror as their supposedly invincible technology was systematically neutralized. The first wave of invasion was collapsing. What was supposed to be a simple planetary conquest had turned into a technological nightmare for the attackers. Lumina communication networks showed something unprecedented: hope. Their scientific understanding, combined with humanity's defensive strategies, had created a shield more powerful than any traditional weapon. Commander Jepark allowed himself a slight smile. First wave neutralized, he said quietly. The universe had just witnessed something new, a demonstration that technological innovation, combined with the fundamental desire to protect, could change everything. The Stellar Dominion had made a critical mistake. They thought they were hunting a vulnerable civilization. Instead, they had awakened a technological force unlike anything in known space. And this was just the beginning. The universe transformed into a battlefield. Massive energy signatures erupted across multiple star systems as Earth's fleet engaged the Stellar Dominion's remaining forces. What had started as a defensive action was now a full-scale conflict that would determine the fate of multiple civilizations. Commander Jepark stood on the bridge of the U.S. horizon, his body tense but his mind clear. Autonomous combat systems worked with an efficiency that seemed almost supernatural. Each movement calculated, each strike precisely targeted. Adapt and respond, he commanded the ship's AI system. Quantum-linked warships moved like a single organism. Where traditional military forces would see individual vessels, this was a living, breathing network of technological intelligence. Earth's ships communicated faster than light, sharing tactical information in microseconds. The Stellar Dominion had conquered hundreds of civilizations. They were used to overwhelming smaller species with brute force. But humanity was different. Each setback became a learning opportunity. Each attack was analyzed, understood, and countered with increasingly sophisticated strategies. Lieutenant CO Park managed the nanoswarm weapon systems. These weren't just weapons. They were intelligent technological entities that could think, adapt, and reconfigure mid-battle. Where traditional missiles would simply explode, these broke down enemy ship systems from the inside. Lumina scientists contributed crucial technological insights. Their advanced research capabilities merged with human military strategy, creating something entirely new. It wasn't just about fighting anymore. It was about understanding and neutralizing the enemy's entire technological infrastructure. The battle spread across multiple star systems. What had begun as a defense of the Lumina homeworld became a comprehensive campaign to neutralize the Stellar Dominion's ability to wage war. Enemy ships tried multiple attack strategies. They launched massive energy weapons. They attempted complex flanking maneuvers. They used tactics that had worked against hundreds of previous civilizations. But humanity's adaptive systems were always one step ahead. Quantum AI computers processed millions of potential scenarios every second. Each enemy movement was predicted, understood, and countered before it could be fully executed. The Stellar Dominion found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to know their intentions before they did. Target their communication networks, Jay commanded. Specialized quantum disruption weapons began targeting the enemy's ability to coordinate. It wasn't just about destroying ships. It was about dismantling their entire military infrastructure. The Lumina watched in amazement. Their scientific understanding combined with humanity's defensive strategies had created something unprecedented. This wasn't just a military response. It was a comprehensive technological solution. Stellar Dominion commanders began to realize they were facing something entirely different. This wasn't a traditional war. This was a complex dance of technological innovation, where every attack was instantly analyzed and neutralized. One by one, their strategic positions collapsed, not through massive explosions, but through systematic technological dismantling. Jay's voice remained calm. Protect the vulnerable. Neutralize the threat. The autonomous combat systems continued their precise work, each movement calculated, each strike designed to minimize potential casualties while maximizing defensive capabilities. Hours turned into days. The conflict spread across multiple star systems. The Stellar Dominion's once mighty fleet began to disintegrate under humanity's relentless intelligent assault. This was more than a war. This was a demonstration of what happened when technological innovation met the fundamental human drive to protect those who could not protect themselves. The universe watched silently as a new form of conflict unfolded, one where intelligence, adaptation, and protection were the most powerful weapons. And the battle was far from over. The final confrontation arrived with a silent intensity that seemed to pause the entire universe. Earth's combined fleet approached the Stellar Dominion's primary command systems, a massive technological armada that represented humanity's commitment to defending vulnerable civilizations. Commander J. Park stood on the bridge of the U.S. horizon, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays showing the enemy's last defensive positions. Lieutenant Hyun Kim managed the quantum communication networks, her fingers moving with surgical precision across the advanced interfaces. Final approach initiated, Hyun announced. The Stellar Dominion's leaders watched in disbelief. Their once invincible military machine was being systematically dismantled by a civilization they had previously considered insignificant. Humanity had transformed from an unknown species to a force that could reshape galactic power structures in mere days. Specialized quantum disruption weapons began their work. These weren't traditional weapons of destruction, but intelligent systems that could break down entire technological infrastructures. Each weapon was a complex network of adaptive intelligence, capable of neutralizing threats without massive collateral damage. Luna scientists worked alongside human tactical teams, their combined knowledge creating strategies that the Stellar Dominion could never have anticipated. What had started as a potential extinction event for the Lumina had become a comprehensive demonstration of technological and strategic superiority. The enemy's primary command centers began to collapse, not through massive explosions, but through precise, intelligent dismantling. Quantum networks infiltrated their most secure systems, turning their own technology against them. Protect the vulnerable, Jay repeated, a phrase that had become their mission statement. Massive energy signatures marked the final stages of the conflict. But this wasn't a traditional space battle. It was a complex dance of technological innovation. Each movement calculated, each strike designed to minimize potential loss of intelligent life. Stellar Dominion communication networks went dark. Their strategic positions collapsed one by one. The civilization that had conquered hundreds of worlds found itself completely neutralized by a force it couldn't understand. Han's voice broke the tension. Enemy systems neutralized. The Lumina watched in a mixture of relief and amazement. Their entire civilization had been saved by a species they barely knew. Humanity had demonstrated something profound, that technological power could be used to protect, not just to destroy. Diplomatic channels opened. Earth's leadership prepared to establish new interstellar protocols that would protect smaller civilizations from future threats. Commander Jepark allowed himself a moment of reflection. This wasn't just a military victory. This was a statement about the fundamental values that could guide intelligent species across the universe. The Lumina's lead scientist, Kira, connected through the quantum communication network. "You didn't just save us," she said. "You changed everything we understood about conflict and protection." Humanity had done more than win a war. They had demonstrated a new approach to interstellar relationships, one based on protection, innovation, and mutual understanding. As the final enemy ships were neutralized, a new era of cosmic diplomacy began to take shape. The Stellar Dominion's aggressive expansion had been completely stopped. Smaller civilizations would now have a powerful defender. Hyun looked at Ja. "What happens next?" Jay's response was simple and clear. "We protect. We understand. We grow." The universe seemed to pause, watching this small moment that would reshape galactic civilization. What had begun as a potential extinction event for the Lumina had become a powerful demonstration of humanity's potential. The stars watched silently as a new chapter in cosmic history began to unfold.